What's going on? It is I, your Ribbon Masters Draft League Commissioner, Haruhi, bringing you today a lovely video recap of LarryTown's Draft League. And this evening we have our lovely mod and draft conference counterpart here with us today. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Venty, aka one Venty 79, aka Venty 179, depending on where I am. But Venty on YouTube, you'll find me VNTY. I am also I'm a mod of the PokemonRibbons community and one of the Ribbon Draft admins over there as well. I've been playing in drafts. This will be my third season doing it out of the 4. And yeah, we're here to show you the LarryTown Conference Draft from Ribbon Masters League Season 4 of their draft league. And basically here, it's a standard draft league fare. You are picking from a limited pool of mons. And once you draft a mon, somebody else in your conference can no longer draft that mon. So if I draft a Mungus in the LarryTown Conference, there's 2 conferences, LarryTown and Ionopolis. The names are a long story, but if I'm in LarryTown, I draft a Mungus, no one else in LarryTown can draft a Mungus. Someone in Ionopolis could draft a Mungus, but once both the Munguses are gone, no one else can grab it.
You got that right. And just to get into some of those pieces and tidbits there, like we discussed in draft, this is our 4th season. We've been on, a year's hiatus. I think we got buried in Legends Arceus and BDSP, and so it was time to bring it all back. This season we're using the Paldea decks with a few cute Pokemon that managed to squeeze themselves in, and we're going to go ahead and just take a quick look at how our draft rolled out.
Yes.
So, first and foremost, we've got 20 coaches in the season. Yes.
Oh, I was gonna say, you might just scroll up slightly just to show the draft order.
Oh yeah.
I think it's like literally one message above this.
All right. So we've got 20 coaches this season with 2 conferences. Above here, you can see our lovely draft order. We've got IRONMAN, a returning coach from this season. Ayano, Victor, Doombot, Bloomer, Fire Festival.
Another return. Yeah.
Soften, Xander, yours truly, and our other mod, Casey. So
yeah, Bloomer and Fire have been around as long as I have, and they're both very formidable. Casey is a demon and has been around for all 4 seasons. And I guess one more important thing for Ayano, they're a good friend of mine and also a mod of the Ribbon server, technically. Long story. But anyways, I'm also helping them draft their team basically during this whole thing. So whenever we get to Ayano's picks, I can also explain the drafting process for them as well.
Sounds good. Well, let's get into it. Our division conference is essentially based off our lovely Medali gym leader, Larry, in all things basic and hardworking class citizen. We'll just say that.
When you say basic, I would say just like you, but honestly, that's like the worst word to describe you and your thought processes and team building ever.
Well, ouch. My heart.
So you go against Larry's mantra in every way possible.
Well, so the theme for this season, and yours truly, is spiraling from draft league anxiety. And I really mean it when I say spiraling from Draft League anxiety. So, yeah, no, let's get into these picks. So up to bat, you know, I did kind of go into this draft with an idea of what I wanted to get my hands on. But unfortunately, with the draft order being so far at the end of the snake ladder, a lot of good picks were going to get scooped up. So we had IRONMAN scoop up Goldango. Very solid first pick.
I actually... Do you want some behind the scenes here?
Tell me about it.
So, since we're getting right into Ayano's first pick, because she was blessed with second pick, she said that the one mon she wanted to get more than anything, well, there's two mon she wanted more than anything, but the first one was Espathra, since it was their favorite Gen 9 mon. And so, before the draft, I just went and asked, like, IRONMAN, like, hey, what T0s are you looking at? And he's like, oh, you know, he listed a bunch of them, and none of them were Espathra, so I was like, perfect.
There you have it.
You go, dude. You go.
Yeah, I mean, like, at the first draft pick, you have a lot of potential. The options are limitless. You're the first pick in the draft. So
yeah, I've been there before, and it's insane. Goldango is a great pick. It basically shits on all sport users, which is very nice, and also just shuts down so many strategies that would normally destroy you. Espathra, on the other hand, is just an offensive demon who can sit there getting infinite boosts as a bulky psychic type god.
Absolutely. That stored power set that it's got going on is pretty toasty.
It is wild. There's some other shit you can run into, which is very nice.
Yeah. So moving down into the rest of the draft here.
Oh, well, sorry. One more thing. We should mention that not all mons can Terra in this.
Oh, good.
Mons, there are T0. There's 5 tiers: T0, T1, T2, T3, T4, T5. Mons that are T0 and T1 cannot Terra. And for Mons that are tiers 2 through 5, you get 3 Terra Captain slots. You can have a Terra Captain from T2, a Terra Captain from T3, and a Terra Captain from T4/5. However, if you want to use a higher tier Terra Captain slot and a lower tier Mon, you can do that. So you can have like 2 T3s and 1 T4, for example. So yeah. Just want to make that clear. So Espathra cannot Terra, because if we allow something like Espathra to Terra, you would literally win every match by just turning into a type your opponent couldn't really hit. Or by getting that one extra turn of cheese to get out extra boost and then just sweep everything.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of really good power picks to choose from, but, you know, to balance out terrestrialization and, you know, some of the broken mons, it made sense to the mods and to the commissioner to, you know, place a little bit of restraint on some of these Pokemon.
Yeah, because otherwise it'd be just so overwhelming in a draft league setting where you have so many limited options to deal with things. So yeah, that's basically a reasoning for it, and I think it turned out well for the most part.
Absolutely. So another note here on this side of the draft, our lovely mod Casey was helping Victor out here in drafting one of their first competitive draft league teams. So this is their first time participating. And, you know, Casey's a pretty seasoned draft league battler. And they lead off with the optimal Grimmsnarl pick in round 1.
And Grimmsnarl is basically a T0, but it ended up being T1 because it doesn't really have much offensive presence. But it is so strong and is better than most of the T0s, I'm not going to lie.
Absolutely.
Just for its screens and parting shot to facilitate any, like, hyper offense team just to kill everything.
So, rolling right through the rest of the draft here in this first round, immediately Great Tusks gets pulled off of the table. This was honestly one of my first snipes. I had figured that this was going to make its way down the way for me, but you know, there was still some options available. And then we start to proceed further. Yes?
Yeah, because you're 9th pick, just to reiterate.
Yeah.
You were in the worst slot possible. Being 10th pick can be nice because you can grab a combo, because you get to choose twice in a row. You get to choose a combo without being messed up. You were in the worst slot because you are just screwed. You get no benefit, basically.
But you know what? What I will say is that coming to see how this draft pans out, I had some pretty high-key snipes. So, I don't know. I might be a little biased about it, but we'll see how this plays out. So essentially, Bloomer rolls off with Garchomp, solid pick, and then I get sniped again with the Dragapult. So
yeah, Dragapult's probably one of the strongest. I think it's one of the best T0s in like top 3 because it's the fastest one in the format. I mean, besides Electrode, but who cares? Dragapult's insane, and you can run a million different sets on it even without Terra. It's just incredibly strong. It gets a lot of support utility too. Absolutely. Also, one more fun fact, just because I think it's really funny, if you scroll up just slightly, just a tiny bit. So, Bloomer's original team name was not going to be the Long Island Latias. He's been running this team name forever. He was going to rename it to, like, I don't remember what it was, but it was something Goldangos. And he's like, well, if I don't get Goldango, then I'll go back to Long Island Latias. And the very first pick was Goldango. He was like, fuck. And so then he requested a team name change back to his original team.
Oof.
It's like, sorry, boys, the relocation did not go as planned.
Absolutely not. So yeah, no, like, I mean, you know, the snipes, they be happening. But
yeah, that's just the natural order, of course. Also, Sap in here picking Lucario, a T2, as his first pick. And now this might seem not like the best play. However, he is the secret genius of this draft league, and you will see why.
you know, at the time, I didn't quite understand the pick either. But after having all of the potential picks picked from T0, I said, you know what? Let's also shoot down that way. So Xander comes through and picks up Glamora in tier 1, I believe?
It's tier 2.
Tier 2. So we've got a second tier 2 pickup with the Glamora. Pretty strong hazard setting.
It is, but also I'm pretty sure Iron Treads is still available. So why did you not just pick that? But it's okay. Like honestly, Glamora is really strong because you can get up different kinds of things, right? Even though it's T2, honestly, Glamora could have been T1, and it's like you get so much value out of it with basically guaranteed toxic spikes.
Absolutely.
And a really good offensive presence with like Sludge Wave and Rock Power Jump, for example.
So Xander makes his pick here, and I come through and I lead with our first pick of the draft for the season, Screamtail, aka Baby Metal. Thank you.
You're welcome for that name.
It is a wonderful name. Baby Metal, the Screamtail here, is an incredible pick, especially because it has such an incredible speed and bulk spread, and it's also one of the best Wish Passers in the format right now.
I think it's the best one, honestly. Like, no cap. I don't think anything's better than it.
Yeah, you know, it's just cute. It's also a very on-brand pick for me.
No, it is the most. When I saw you pick that, I was like, this is the most Haruhi pick I have ever seen in my entire life, and I am not surprised in the slightest. I mean, if I were in your position, I would pick Xianpao immediately, because that is the best T0 in the format, in my opinion. I don't think anything comes close to it, and it just destroys everything. And the fact you guys left on the table was insane to me.
Yeah, and also, I did kind of ask you what I should grab, and
I think I told you, like, why are you not grabbing Xianpao immediately?
I know.
That one kills everything.
I know. And
so
I let it pass. And basically, we came through here and we got to see the wheel pick here with KC, who drafted Amoonguss and Iron Valiant.
Amoonguss totally on brand for KC. They love being a disgusting degenerate with regenerate powers by spamming Sport on a really annoying mon that never dies. But yeah, that's totally on brand for KC. They love running sleep mons like this. They love running bulk. Also, Valiant was the one they wanted anyways. They had no idea how they ended up getting it as the freaking wheel pick, but you know, things happen, I suppose.
I don't know. I just said I wasn't really feeling the T0 picks. And so I said, you know, let's just draft some power. And
you could have gotten some power if you grabbed Xianpao. But
I know. I just figured that there was more value in the tiers below after getting sniped by everything else. And
instead,
so
You left Chiapel on the table
I
twice.
left it on the
you.
table twice.
I cannot believe you.
And so I decided to pick up our next draft pick, Ferrari, the Scizor.
Scizor's still very strong, by the way. It's the best defogger in the format as well.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's got the tech and the heat. So all I have to say is look out for it this season. And leading through the rest of this here, Xander comes back around and picks up Bloomer. And
Shroomer?
Oh yeah, that's what I meant. Fair enough. Actually, I think this happened several times in the chat. I got the both of them confused.
I get it's not your fault. I get OPB and the other OPB, OP Bloomer and OP Shroomer all the time confused. And then I get Bloomer and Biggest confused because their names both start with B, and they both are runner-ups in,
There's too
in
many
the RML
B's to
season.
keep track of.
It's too many. Also, then Safin, who picked Lucario round 1 and left Chiapel on the table, then looks like the biggest fucking genius on the planet, because then it's like, oh cool, Chiapel's still here! And gets to grab it! It's wild! I was like, there's no way! They're secretly a genius. They got to pick their favorite Pokemon and the best Pokemon in the game.
Very true. Very true. I think that this was probably the pick to pick up, but
yes, on every single person's turn, someone should have picked it up. But here we are at pick like 16.
So yeah, no. Fire Festival comes back around with their next pick and grabs Unga Bunga.
A very sussy Baka.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how this thing does this season.
It's disgusting.
I don't get the typing, but you know what? Hey.
Just don't get U-turned, 5-head. Easy.
So Bloomer comes in and drafts Tyranitar, so the first weather setter is gone from the tier. And then Doombot comes through and drafts Wo Qian.
The full-ass live Wo Qian reaction.
Absolutely. Victor comes in and Casey comes through with the pick and drafts Volcarona as the T0 pickup. I'm scared. Mom?
I guess spoiler alert, name of the game for Victor is going to be screens with Grimmsnarl and hyper offense step sweepers that are facilitated by those screens. So be on the lookout.
Yeah, definitely can see that. Yeah, so Ayano comes back around for their next pick, and
somehow, no one touched Northern the whole time, and casually allowed Ayano to pick up the Espathra Orthworm combo. This is also very important. This draft league had been moving super fast. Meanwhile, Ionopolis had done like 2 picks, and then like the third person was EU time, and while everyone else was awake, our EU person was missing, and we literally could not draft for a while. I mean, they were asleep, so it's not their fault. It was like 3 a.m. But we were stuck for a while, and LarryTown just blazed through everything, which was great, because what it meant is that people didn't know the right tech to pick up yet. So Iono got to skate through and grab both Espathra and Orthworm for free. The most broken combo, potentially, in this format, because you just give Espathra a Shed Tail substitute, and then you kill everything.
Yeah, no, pretty solid for them to pick up that core. Not gonna lie.
Funny worm guy. Also, I love this picture of Orthworm. He just looks so happy.
It's a great one, for sure. And so we get through the next parts of the draft here, and IRONMAN comes up with his first wheel pick and picks up Hydreigon and Sylveon, rounding off that Fairy Dragon Seal core. What do you think?
I think that he has not wasted any of his picks. This is one thing. I think this is the second time that IRONMAN has gotten the first pick. He doesn't mince words. He goes for value. He goes for the crazy power mons, and he always utilizes his spot in draft list perfectly. I think he does a really good job of it. My first season, he ended up with Kyurem Black, Heatran, and Cresselia as his first 3 picks. He is not messing around.
Oh boy. So definitely a powerhouse threat looking it's looking like so
Yeah.
far.
All these mons are super good, and Sylveon would end up being one of his Terra Captains. A crazy strong Terra Captain. You have so much you can run with it, and Sylveon's just really bulky. Very strong mon.
Absolutely. So coming back through here, Iono makes their next pickup.
So this is the other mon that Iono wanted the most out of everything. And conveniently, it's one of the... Honestly, I think it's one of the best mons in the format.
He's a good boy.
This is Quagsire. So I had to get a Spothor Orthworm first because I knew they would be sniped if I didn't grab them immediately. But I didn't think... And I knew Quag was going to be safe because it's a T3 mon, like kind of hidden in T3. This mon as a Terra Captain is incredibly powerful, and I can't wait for Iono to be able to show it off more. I love this thing. Quagsire is one of my goats for Draft League. I had it in both Season 2, and I had Wooper in Season 3 when we did Lookup. These guys, super awesome. I love them so much. And they are just the sturdiest, squishiest lads that just never die and just are always the most reliable member of your team. I love these guys.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing how that plays out this season too. So moving down here, we've got Victor picking up a Azumarill. Pretty solid water type, great fairy. Can't terrestrialize, but hey, it's still got the moves.
It also loves screens for Belly Drum, for getting a Belly Drum off and just killing everything.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think about that.
Yep.
Yikes. Yikes. So,
like how I'm doing for Iono, KSD is putting a lot of thought into Victor's team to make sure that they are going with, that they have some really good picks.
Absolutely. But yeah, no, going into these next picks here, Doombot picks up Rotom Wash. Really solid pickup with the the Iron Tusks.
Yeah, Iron Treads and Great they work pretty well together. The thing about this is that Rotom Wash also it's the only Rotom that can't Terra. Maybe we're a bit too harsh on it, but I don't know. Electric water attackers are very strong in this format, I think.
Yeah, I can see that, and you know what?
With risk support too.
Hindsight 2020,
Like maybe we could have lowered it, but it's still really strong regardless. If Rotom Wash is still gonna Rotom Wash.
Yeah. So going to the next picks here, Bloomer picks up Corviknight.
The other best defogger.
Yeah.
Probably the actual best defogger with Scissor like literally right behind it.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think what else his other pieces of his cores were. Now that I think about it.
I could check. Give me a second. He should have had hold up. I can just look at it really quick. Of Bloomer? The Bloomer had Garchomp and Tyranitar, and then Corviknight.
Oh yeah, so he's got a bit of a sand core thing going on here.
It actually works quite well together, and the thing is like they also just work well together in general because they cover each other's weaknesses super well.
Yeah, I can see that. Huh. Well, moving into these next picks then.
Super on-brand Fire Festival pick right here with Cloyster.
Yeah.
We all know what this thing does. It's a Shell Smash Sweeper that you try to keep around to bring in at the end to just destroy everything when there's nothing left that can stop it. This mon's super dangerous. It's a T1 pick because we cannot let this thing Terra because it would win every single match.
Yeah.
by just getting
thing.
Yeah. It also has priority. Yeah, that's priority to beat Sucker Punchers too, so it's just really strong. This Cloyster is always a total bastard, but I love this man.
Yeah, and then going down into our next picks here, we've got Soften picking up the Talonflame. What do we think about that?
Actually, super good mon. Not with Gale Wings. Gale Wings is trash, but it doesn't even need Gale Wings. It's so fast. It's like base 127. You're in Flame Body, so you can just burn everything, and you can run a more defensive stat with Roost, and just stick around forever with like Flame. You just run like Flare Blitz, and Braybird. And you also run it with Defog. You run it with Tailwind. You have a lot of options you can run with this thing. It's a really good draft Pokemon. Honestly, I think it's just in general one of the better picks because it's T2, right?
Yeah, I think so.
It's really solid, like unironically. I expected this thing to kind of be mid as fuck, but it actually is really good. Wait, is it T3? No way.
I think it's tier 3.
We put this thing in T3. Wow, that's a really good pick for T3. I'm not even lying. That's actually really good. And if you need to run party Brave Bird shenanigans, you absolutely can.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Look, talk about oversights. So just a little plug in here for those tuning in with us. We originally had a tier list that we went off of, and we combined things into the tiers that were presented to you here.
Because there was like 16 different point tiers in the original list, and it's way too complicated for most people to get. It was too complicated for me. I didn't want to deal with that.
Yeah, well, and also, like, behind the scenes, the admins were really scratching their heads trying to figure out the proper point distribution.
We fucked up there was an equation we were following that was incorrect, and that's why we couldn't get it to work until we realized that it was not correct.
Well,
but eventually we figured it out.
Well, the funny thing is we had already figured it out from the last season.
I'm moving into defining it. Yeah, that was stupid. Dude, I sat there losing my mind trying to figure out the points distribution for this. Because we basically just didn't want to make it so you could get 3 tier 1s on your team. Because it's too broken, if you could do that.
Yeah.
Like way too imbalanced. And then we figured out how to get this points distribution to work.
Yeah, so... that's some of the stuff that, your admins are thinking about behind the scenes to help, ease up the playing field for folks and also have a good season.
Yeah, we want people to have fun. We want the teams to be more balanced. People have to choose bad mons or worse mons or mid mons alongside their huge threats. It's just how it works.
Yeah.
That's all point draft.
Yeah. Well, so moving into the next picks here, Xander unfortunately asks for Chiyu. And causes a little bit of confusion because that was definitely banned.
Even without Terra, there is no way we're gonna let Chiyu, and it just wins every match by itself. So imagine drafting that with Sun.
Yeah. Oh, I know. So instead, they came around and grabbed the second goodest boy, Clodsire here, for the pickup.
Personally, one that I also drafted, Clodsire is very good. I think Quagsire's typing is actually better, and I think it's a better Terra Captain because of that, because it can benefit a lot more. But Claude is still just unfathomably fat, and so far it's been doing great work for me in sparring matches and in my actual matches. Love him.
It's quite the thickums. So speaking of thickums, I come through and I decided, you know what? I need wall. I need bulk. And I decided to draft the biggest moose boy, Tinglu. Now, unbeknownst to me, this was a KC snipe. I had originally wanted to do a double wish passing core with Umbreon, but Tinglu was like, ooh, ground type. It's fat. It'll literally sit on anything. Let's grab it.
And signature ability is called 35% of ruin after all.
Absolutely.
You can only take 35% from any attack at most.
So yeah, no, this is a pretty solid pickup for me here, and the squad was getting a little scary as they come around the bend.
Yeah, it's potentially the best bulky rocker in the format. Also, it just never dies ever. And can whirlwind phasers out. Or you can phase people out with whirlwind. It's a very strong pick. And it gets ruination, which is dark type super fang that doesn't make contact. So it's just you can never sit on it.
Right. So in with KC, picking up the pieces of the shambles of their draft snipe, they decided to come around and pick up Meowscarada and the Slowking. What do we think?
So this is actually a turning point for KC's entire team, and unfortunately, I say unfortunately because it is unfortunate for me later. This is actually very good that this happened to them, because they said after the fact that they're glad that that Tinglu was actually sniped, because otherwise they would have kind of made their team building a lot more rigid. Because if you grab 2 T1s for your team, you're forced to grab 2 T2s, 2 T3s, 2 T4s, and 2 T5s. And there's a lot of crazy good mons in tier 3, and then there's actually quite a few ones that are good in tier 4, and then very few that are really good in tier 5.
Yeah.
So you're really getting stuck with something bad probably when you're grabbing from T5, and also, honestly, I think a lot of T2s are probably more worth it to be able to triple up on than grabbing 2 T1s a lot of time.
Oh, absolutely. That's the trade-off for grabbing a tier 1 for sure. You know, as long as you meet that 750 point requirement, you know, folks were able to kind of draft and have a little bit more flexibility with what they wanted to have on their team.
They also have to hit the 11 mon requirement though, so you can't just have a bunch of points left over.
That too. Good point. So coming back around the bend here.
But for the actual mons themselves, sorry, Meowscarada is insane. You can run it with hazards. It gets a million sets. You can run with Protean or Overgrow. You can run Leaf Storm for cheeky coverage. It's crazy. And you can also Slow King is the premier hail setter with chilly reception, but also just works as a free teleport basically. It's super fat. It's a decent Terra Captain. You can run Calm Mind sets to just meme on people. It's super good. And also Regenerator Lamau.
Yeah, no, who doesn't love a good regen mod for sure? And he's got some pretty good fighting. Yeah, he's got some good fighting resistances here that he's picking up on. So coming around the bend here, I decided that I wanted power again, and this Pokemon had been in my sights. As soon as the draft had come up, I wanted a offensive fire type that put immediate pressure on the field. So I went through and drafted Ceruledge. Yeah, you know, really great setup potential, solid coverage, and I decided to make it a Terra Captain. So it's got the heat.
I think it's one of the best Terra Captains that you could run into too if you're running offensive on there. It's just very strong. It has a lot of tech you can run. Its move pool is very wide. It has close combat for no reason, but your blade is very strong. You get Shadow Sneak for priority, so even though its speed isn't the best, you have ways of circumventing that on spawn. And when you give it a better type, this thing can go fucking crazy. Especially since you also have Flash Fire, so if you run something like Terra Steel, suddenly you can get by fire type moves.
Yep. So yeah, no. Moving through the rest of this draft here, Xander picks a funny monkey. Yeah. And ends up revealing Primeape here as their next pick.
I still don't get it. I'm not gonna lie. Also, for context, it's not so Annihilate is allowed in this draft, and the same with Primeape, but Rage Fist is banned. So like, I don't know why you picked Primeape. I still don't know. He might potentially be thinking of getting rid of it for something else. I really. Or did he already get rid of it? I don't remember.
No, I think he still got
it. Actually, I don't think he's traded it. I don't think he's traded it yet. We'll see. I don't get it.
I didn't get it either. Quite honestly, there were so many other picks on the board that could have been picked up.
It's so early in the draft too. There's so many T1s and T2s left.
Right, like the potential there, kind of missed the mark. Not gonna lie. So, moving to this next pick here, Soften takes a goat pick and snipes another coach here. I believe it was.
They snipe.
I think it was Bloomer.
It was Bloomer. Oh my god, you're reminding me. This is Glimmet. My lord, this fucking Pokemon. No, Glimmet is the memest of meme picks on this earth. It counts as a T5. This thing, still has toxic debris, and it can set up other hazards. The problem, it doesn't get Mortal Spin until it's Lamora, and it doesn't get Rapid Spin. So you can set up hazards with it, and nothing else.
Yeah, I mean, hey, for a tier 5 pick, not a problem. But
guaranteed toxic spikes is pretty dope, but not gonna lie. This thing seems also, for some reason, it has a base 105 special attack stat. So if it actually gets a chance to hit something, it will do damage. Trust me, it will. But it actually is a lot better than it seems. I've done a couple of sparring matches messing with it. This thing is actually kind of weirdly, annoyingly too useful for its own good.
Well, quite the shocking pick then.
Yeah, it's actually not bad at all. It does suck it can't spin. If it could spin, I would draft it immediately, but unfortunately it cannot spin.
Yeah, no, definitely gonna have to see how this pans out for the rest of Soften's team and how it performs throughout the season.
He also made it a Terror Captain. That part of it I don't understand.
What?
Yes.
Okay. So
I don't get something, but maybe there's something I'm not seeing.
Me neither.
It's
So
an unholy pick.
Fire Festival comes through.
You should really scroll the you should not leave the image on that part of the.
We're just gonna keep going.
Also, fire grabbing Zoroark, totally in character for him for max premium chaos strats. He uses it very well from what I've seen in sparring matches, so it's gonna be fun seeing him pull off stupid shit with it.
Absolutely, and I'm sensing a trend here. I don't know, but Hat comes through here for Bloomer. Really solid pickup here for Trick Room Shenanigans, and also designated it as a Terra Captain. So that'll be pretty exciting to see how that pans out.
This thing is, as a Terra Captain, is honestly disgusting and can live forever. This thing is ridiculous. Its magic bounce to stop basically everything and to reflect rocks and hazards back at you. It also gets screen support. It's just very good. It's just incredibly good at Pokemon. It gets Nuzzle, Wuzzle, Uwu to just paralyze everything. It's so fucking annoying. This Pokemon is great for enabling Hyper Offense.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I could see that. It's definitely one of the bigger threats on his team, for sure.
For sure.
Doombot comes in here and picks up the Iron Treads. I'm seeing a little bit of a duplication here.
Yeah, so essentially, Doombot's the one who also picked up Great Tusks. And yeah. I'm still confused as to why he picked both, but he has both. And, like, they kind of do the same thing, except just Tusk does it better because Tusk's typing is way better and its defensive presence is way better. Like, Treads can work really well on certain teams. Like, on my team, as a rain team, I would love it because I can protect it from its fire weakness, and it just would synergize well with a lot of stuff on my team personally. But yeah, no, I don't really see the need to draft both Tusk and Treads because, like, whenever you're bringing both to a match and it's not like just hard diminishing returns because it's the same Pokemon. Because, like, if Tusk loses something in the team, Tread likely will also lose to that exact same thing, and vice versa. So it's kind of leaving yourself open just to get, you know, when you could be bringing a different Pokemon that would instead cover for one of your other weaknesses in a match.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then it looks like Victor needed a, I don't know what that was. I don't get it. But Victor was tagged, and they left some picks with me, and they decided to pick up Poltegeist. Pretty solid Shell Smasher. Again, it's giving very fitting to the theme that they've provided here about setting up a sub and you know, getting some sweeping action going. That's three immediate offensive presence mons back to back. So
yeah, well, I setting up screens and then getting up your sweep, but yeah. Poltegeist on this team works very well. It's perfect. It's a very good Shell Smasher. It has actually weirdly good coverage for some reason. Like, way more coverage than I thought it did when I was doing some sparring matches with it. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's actually pretty solid.
So, yeah, no. Ayano comes up next, and it looks like
yes, here we go.
We get into King Gambit.
I love this stupid picture so much. Well, we were looking on the board for what T1 we wanted to grab, and there was just literally a King Gambit sitting there. Just chilling. And we were like, you know what, we can just grab King Gambit. This seems pretty strong. And so that's what we ended up going with. And yeah, no, it's just a steel type to like round out the, you know, just to round out the team. So a really powerful party user with Sucker Punch. It can also utilize the Earthworm substitutes, because you can just sit behind a sub, get Sword Stance up, and then kill things with Sucker Punch after the fact. All that stuff. It's just a very solid mon. Also, you can run Defiant, or if they're running Intimidate users or users that will lower stats with moves and stuff, or you can just run Supreme Overlord and save it to the end of the game just to kill everything.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a scary power pick for them to pick up at this time too. Yeah, no, and so going into the next part of the wheel pick here, Iron Man scoops up the Quackleval and the Sandy Shocks. Two really, again, powerful picks. Slots have not been wasted.
He's not minced words, and allow me to. I need to bring this up because I think it's hilarious. When we were talking about I was thinking of also potentially picking up Quackleval on my side, and one of the benefits of Quackleval that you were mentioning is that it has one final secret hidden ability that makes it more powerful than most T1s, and that is that you can an alternate win con with it is just to seduce your enemies with it.
With its dancing
and biggest dumpy on the earth.
Oh man.
Oh.
Yeah, so
but yeah, Sandy Shocks though, actually super bulky mon that doesn't die to anything and kills everything. That mon on the right team could be unironically like unstoppable, but I think people are too afraid to pick it, even though it's T2, so you can make it a Terra Captain too. I think it as a Terra Captain would actually do quite good, but and then Quackleval things can snowball very easily and kill everything. So
yeah, no, really solid pickups for sure. And we come back around to Ayano, who decides to pick up the Rotom Heat.
Yes, unveiling our new line of microwave ovens, the Rotom Toaster. So this thing, fun fact, I was actually drafting 3 teams in this draft league. I was drafting Iono's, I was drafting mine, I was drafting Rex's, who was also on my side, and Ionopolis. And I ended up drafting both Rotom Heats. I drafted it for Iono, and I drafted it, or Ayano, excuse me, and I drafted it for Rex. The reason is because this thing is a T2 mon that's a very good Terra Captain candidate, because you can turn like Terra Electric, have no weakness. You can turn like Terra Ice, and then like have Ice, Fire, and Electric cover. It's crazy. Like this thing is Terra Captain is really strong, and it just rounded out her team super well. Because again, it will work well. Like we have a Fire Electric that's levitating to cover for our Steel type and our Psychic type, and our Water Ground type. So like we have a grass answer, super easy grass answer with this thing, and honestly, ultra solid monitor team from all the testing we've done so far. It's amazing.
I believe it. Rotom Heat is a premier draft league pick. You know, in most draft leagues. I mean, it's got the right defensive coverage that it needs, especially for backing up your bulky waters like that.
And it has such a good defensive typing. It's so hard to kill. Like, to put in perspective, in my very first draft league season, I had the only answer I had to defeat a very strong opponent's Rotom Heat was to trick it in Iron Ball to nerf its speed and to make it so I could kill it with my own Earth power. Because otherwise, I had nothing to do with it.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, see, it's yeah. Well, moving on here, Casey drafts Iron Thorns for Victor. Surprising pick. And at this point in the draft, a lot of the folks in the league were kind of baffled by it, and then slowly realized how powerful this thing actually can be. It is one of the only rock types that can Volt Switch, and they did end up making it a Terra Captain. So it's gonna be some powerhouse presence here this season with this pickup.
Yeah, Iron Thorns is somewhat of a meme in the Ribbons community. There's some diehard fans of it in the chat who I adore because I just love their enthusiasm. But Iron Thorns is, I think, one of the best Terra users in the game because it has a really bad type, and you can make it one type, or you can just turn it into something like Terra Flying to make for hilarious meme purposes. Just blank stuff that would normally destroy you. The thing about Iron Thorns, though, is that it's a Dragon Dance sweeper. And again, when you get some screens up for it, for Victor's team, you can just have it come and start Dragon Dancing, run loaded dice, you kill stuff with Pin Missile and Rock Blast, and just absolutely blow people away. The biggest weakness is one is that it has 4 move slot syndrome, where it really, at least I think this is 4 move slot syndrome, it's where it really doesn't have room for anything. Its move slots are very restricted by the sets it usually runs, so it's hard to also run Volt Switch, your coverage, and Dragon Dance on the same set. And if you want to put Stealth Rocks on it, then it becomes even harder.
Absolutely. Yeah, no. And that's in some cases here in Draft League where, you know, it's important to look at how much utility a Pokemon can use, and have options to back up or be more flexible with those roles. Yeah, no, I could see the restriction with that, but I mean, it is still, again, a lot of power here that it's bringing to the table.
It's a ton of coverage, so it still keeps Earthquake, it still keeps all the rock moves. It's very strong.
Yeah. So in the next set here, it looks like Doombot is next for his pickup, and looks like they're drafting Magnezone, doubling up on Steel, pretty solid electric type, one of the few magnet pullers in the game, but also pretty decent Terra Captain too, if it's put in the right scenario.
A very good Terra Captain. It used to have to run Hidden Power Fire a lot of the time, but now you can just run Terra Mass Flyer and become a Fire type, or even Flying type. Like Magnezone is a perfect user of Terra. Honestly, it's a very good Captain to use. I would say if you dropped it in T2.
Yeah. So coming around again here, we've got Bloomer picking up Low Kicks. Pretty solid Banded user.
Yeah, you run it with Tinted Lens, First Impression. This thing is deceptively strong. You can just kind of like destroy everything with it. Because Tinted Lens making it so not very effective hits are powered up. You just First Impression everything that resists you, and then you just like smash them in the face. So it also gets Axe Kick, which is Bear High Jump Kick. It's a very strong one.
Oh, wow. Huh. So moving into the next pick here, Fire Festival decides to pick up what I believe is a Bisharp?
Yeah. Yes, it is Bisharp.
It's a Bisharp. So Bisharp is pretty fantastic. It does everything that Bisharp normally does.
Well, not anymore. It did lose knockoff, which is horrifically tragic.
Oh no.
But it got a different buff in that now it can hold Eviolite.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
And it uses Eviolite very well. Let's just say that.
Noted. So coming back around again here, Soften picks up Dragonite. Really offensive pick. He's got some really heavy hitters now with Lucario and Chenpao. Unfortunately, Dragonite cannot Terrasilize, but I mean, it's still a Dragonite. It's got a great ability and really solid move pool.
And even though it's not stab, it does still have extreme speed. It does still do a lot of damage. Saffin's team is very offense oriented currently. Like he has Lucario, he has Chenpao, Talonflame, Dragonite, well, Egg Limit, but like those 4 are very, very good. And he would end up making Lucario one of his Terra Captains as well. And that thing with Terrifying Close Combat from Lucario, my god, the damage is absurd.
Yeah, it's just really good damage output here so far with this team. Moving into the next pick here, Xander scoops up the Skeledirge. Really good pivot from that last pick. Fantastic fire type, great bulk, great typing. great ability. And I think it gels really well with the rest of his picks. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Skeledirge, honestly, like, I think I said this in my own recap, but, like, Skeledirge may as well be a T0 in T1. I think it's probably the best T1, like, far and away the best T1. I can't Terrasilize because Lamau, this thing, being able to Terrasilize in Draft League, you literally have no way of killing it ever. But, like, I think this thing is going to be a kill leader. In at least one of the drafts is going to be a kill leader. It's just so insane. You can just snowball so easily with it, get slack off so you just never die, you get Will-Wisp and Yawn. It's just absolutely disgusting. You have so many moves you can run. You can run weird Terra Blast combos for weird coverage every week. It's just... Oh, no, you can't, because it's in Terra. I don't know what I'm saying. I've been watching too much VGC recently. But no, it's still very good even without Terra. It's Fire and Ghost are very good attacking types. It's just a very good one.
Yeah. So, I come back around the bend here for the next draft pick, and I decided that I needed a spinner. And I decided to go with the fabulous Serena for its utility and bulk. We are leaning a little bit more on the offensive side here, but pretty solid pickup. What do you think?
Very on-brand Haruhi pick with your tending to be like bulkier teams anyways, so I wasn't surprised in the slightest. Or maybe I was actually. Actually, I was. I think at this point I was begging and pleading with you to pick something different at this point, right? Oh no, this is the pick that took you the longest to make. It was absurd.
I think so.
This pick was so I have no idea how. I literally no idea how this took this long for you to do when you were like sure you're gonna pick it anyways. What was the one I was screaming you to grab?
This one's coming around right now.
I think I was literally screaming. This might be the same point. Oh no, this is the same point. I was telling you to grab it.
This is the moment.
I was like, pick the Mon because the only person who can disrupt your two picks right now is Casey. I'm like, pick the Mon that you think that Casey is not going to grab, right?
Yeah.
And or this is the Mon that Casey would be more likely to grab, because then when it comes back around, you'll be able to grab it. And right now, you were looking for bulky water, and I was like, okay, the literal perfect Mon for your team is on the table right now. And it is Aqua Tauros. It is sitting right there. No one knows it exists. You should grab it. It gives you a fighting type, which you need, and it's super good. I know this because I had literally just drafted the damn thing on fucking Inonopolis. I was like, look, this thing is super good. I see what it can do. It's insane. No one knows about it. Like, pick it now while you can still grab it. It's T3. It's a super crazy part. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, both of Blaze and Aqua Tauros are in T3.
Yeah.
Just really grabbed them immediately. And then you said, go fuck yourself, Venty. I don't need any of this.
Well, something like that. Casey comes through, and I did also scare him a little bit because I knew what their next picks were going to be. I had an idea because if I didn't draft it, I was pretty certain they were going to draft these things. And I did call it. They drafted Umbreon and Tinkaton. And so around go ahead.
I also knew they were going to draft both of these things because we were talking behind the scenes. This is very weird for me and Casey because we're fierce rivals, but we are literally, for the first time ever, we're on opposite draft conferences. So because of that, we're actually having a great time commentating the drafts between ourselves, talking about different picks that we were looking forward to grabbing and all that stuff. So I had the inside scoop the whole time. I didn't tell this to Haruhi, but because I didn't want to do that. But I knew that Umbreon and Tinkaton were going to, because they were talking about like, yeah, I really want these things. I'm like, I can see why. These are very Casey picks for Casey.
So now comes the moment. At about the same time that Venty was sniped of his dear
I hate you! I hate you! I hate you! Can we talk about the crimes you committed?
Well, that's classified.
I hate you so much.
But basically, I decided to draft Floatzel because I felt that I needed something above 100 base speed, and also kind of a mixed attacker. Originally, I felt that the double Wish Core with Floatzel would have been really solid for offensive presence. But then, unfortunately, shortly after, I realized how much of a mistake that was.
Well, yeah, because Floatzel is frail as fuck. It literally, it will kill itself. Like 9 times out of 10, it will kill itself.
Well, and also
wave crash.
They're just, I don't have the Pelipper Boy to utilize rain. It just doesn't work. So, again.
So you grab this over Aquatoros, and not even just Aquatoros, but there was another Mon on the table that you could have grabbed that would have also fulfilled your bulky water type problems, and it was Slowbro that you just let sit there instead, and then I have Floatzel sniped from me when I'm drafting a rain team, and then I see you picking it. Hence why his fucking message, not rubbing salt in the wound.
Yeah.
Oh, the salt had been rubbed all over the wound, packed inside, and burning.
So Xander comes up and ends up drafting Ironless Hands, aka Hariyama. And this is a really scary pick. Hariyama is an incredible fighting type and impressive bulk.
Yeah, thick fat is what makes this Mon able to really function a lot of times if you're running in a more defensive role. Otherwise, just run guts and kill everything that you're able to hit.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's very solid no matter how you run it. You can run it whatever way you want for draft, which is exactly what you want. It gets a huge move pool. By the way, this thing is one of the only 3 users of Headlong Rush. For some reason, they gave Great Tusk's signature move to this fucker. I don't know why.
I don't know either, but I'm into it. I'm looking forward to seeing how this thing plays out this season. So in the next pick here, Soften goes ahead and picks up Spiritomb. Great Dark Ghost typing. Not really sure how it works out with the rest of his team, but I'm sure he's gonna find a way to work with it.
Well, I mean, the other good thing about it is it's an Infiltrator Mon, so you can use it. Not only does Infiltrator get past Substitute, it also goes past Screens. So if you have Screens up, it doesn't care, and it hits you for full damage.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, there you have it.
It's super solid. This Mon can run a shit ton of different sets. You can run it offensively, you can run it defensively, you can run it as a Sap Sweeper, you can run it as a wild. If this thing got a reliable recovery move, it'd be crazy. But it at least still has Pain Split, but it's a very strong pick. It's a very strong Mon.
Yeah. So then, moving into this next pick here, Fire Festival leads with their next
questionable picture.
Babe.
Arcanine
gets picked up. It's a T1, and unfortunately, it cannot terrestrialize.
Wait, it's not a T1. What are you talking about?
Isn't it?
No.
It's tier 2.
There's no way that there's no way I allowed that thing to be tier 1. Yeah, it's T2.
Is it T2?
And I think it's also his Terror Captain.
Oh yeah, it is T2.
Actually, no, it is not his Terror Captain. I apologize. His tier 2 Terror Captain is the Sussy Baka. Brute on it, and he also terra'd his Bisharp as well. Up to this point.
I mean, pretty solid fire pickup.
Yes.
Great offensive pressure. Good priority.
Really good coverage.
Yeah.
Crazy coverage.
He's got a good pick here. Coming around again here, Bloomer goes ahead and picks up the Spidops.
I don't know why this GIF isn't playing.
I don't know either.
The secret agent ops. Oh, there it is. This fucking weirdo. Yeah. This guy is somehow not completely terrible. Somehow, allegedly, is one of the better web spinners. But the best mean, the web sprinter. It's one of the best web users. It also gets spikes. The best web user in this game, in the format, though, is probably Masquerain, unironically.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. A little double bug pickup too. I mean, I get the fighting resist, but I don't know.
They do things completely differently, I think. It's like one's actually offensive. They also both get first impression, so it's not bad.
Well, so in the next pickup here, Doombot goes with the Blaze Tauros. Really solid pickup.
Well, I mean, it is a very good mon. Like Blaze Tauros is actually awesome. The thing about it, though, is that he's really weak to ground so far. I mean, I guess he has an immunity in Wash and a resistance with Bochan, but like three of his mons are weak to ground here. You have Blaze Tauros, you have Magnezone, and you have Iron Treads.
Yeah, no, that's a really big weakness. Now you point that out. You might actually need to find a way to patch that up.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Well, only time will tell.
So Victor comes up next in draft here, and it looks like Casey chimes in with a Gallade pickup. Gallade got a little bit of a buff this generation with the sharpness ability.
Well, I'd say a lot of the buff because they also gave it like every cutting move in the game. They also gave it Aqua Cutter for no reason, which is like a 70 base power water cutting move, which gets boosted by sharpness. So it gets Sacred Sword as well. It gets Psycho Cut, Leaf Blade, everything. So its coverage is crazy. I think it works also decently well as a Terra Captain. They didn't end up tearing it. They ended up tearing Poltergeist and Iron Thorns. But still, it's still very strong. It's surprisingly actually usable. I was shocked, but it can be very good.
Wow. Yeah, so Ayano comes up here on the next set of the draft and ends up taking the Klefki.
Yeah, Klefki, premier prankster user, very good support mon. It can run screens, it can run weather-changing moves if you need or want to run it, or if you need to disrupt enemy weather. You can run Thunder Wave, you can run spikes for hazard options. And it's very easy to get 3 layers of spikes up with this thing, considering it's prankster user with Steel Berry typing, so you can live a shit ton of hits before you go down. It has a lot of really good moves it can run just to ruin everyone's lives, so it's pretty good.
Did it end up keeping defog this generation is the question.
No. It does not have a way to remove hazards, unfortunately, but it also has usable attacking stats, and you can run it with play routes, you can run it with Dazzling Gleam, you can run it with steel moves. It's very solid. It's still very good.
Yeah. So Iron Man comes up here with the next wheel pick and ends up going with Salazzle and Arboliva. Pretty solid fire and grass pickups here.
Yes. They pair very well together, and Arboliva is incredibly strong. I'm very surprised. Let me see. I'm surprised he terra'd Salazzle here. Also, I don't... Salazzle... Did we really make Salazzle T3?
I think we did.
That is...
I think that's...
unfortunate. But, that being said, the mon does have a lot of really good qualities with corrosion. You're able to talk and anything in the game, which would be huge against Terra Poison, Terra Captains. It's a really fast fire type. It's very threatening to Farius. Arboliva, though, I think is just a really incredible Terra Captain if you do run it like that. But even if you're not running it, it gets Strength Sap. It gets many different things to stay around forever, and we can enemy Earthquakes if you have a bad ground weakness. So it's very strong.
Yeah, wow. Yeah. So Ayana comes back around with the next pick here.
Fluffiest lad.
They end up drafting Slitherwing.
Yes, the next pick for Ayano's team, the Electric Evolutions. Yeah, so I don't know how this thing lasted like this deep into the draft, like pick 7. This thing absolutely fucking cracked T2 Terra Captain, potentially the best T2 Terra Captain. Slitherwing is insane. I personally believe, this is my theory, this is my prediction, this draft league will be, or this season will be the rise of the mid-tier paradoxes. I think those ones, because they have so much bulk to them, and they also all make very good Terra Captains. So stuff like Standing Shocks, Iron Jugulus, and Slitherwings, I think are going to be the premier ones that are going to cause crazy havoc throughout the draft league. And Slitherwing has so much going for it. It has the strongest priority move in the game, which is First Impression. It can run Flare Blitz, it can run it has close combat. It's a slightly slower speed tier, like 82, but it also has ridiculous bulk for no reason. And it is, I think, really solid, and its move pool is really great. And I think this thing is going to be a superstar.
Yeah, no, I agree. Especially with the typing and terrestrializing options, it has a lot of variety going for it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no. Going into the next pick here, it looks like
Another.
Casey picks up Masquerain for Victor. And I think we covered Masquerain earlier, but it is one of the best web setters in the game, and pretty solid ability. Decent matchup against fighting types. Yeah.
I'd argue it is the best web setter in the format. Intimidate on it is no joke. If you end up this thing is a great suicide lead, but even if you keep it alive, it's actually useful to use as an intimidate bot. You can easily bring it on a ground moves. Its typing is very good for what it is. It's just you can make it very bulky and just lead a lot, or just give it stash. It's just very nice. Webs on it is great. You can whirlwind stuff out that tries to set up on you while you're doing it. And you get Hurricane. It's very good. I think Masquerain is a fantastic pickup in tier 4.
QD too, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would recommend running a Quiver Dance thing on this set. Quiver Dance on this thing, but you know.
Yeah. Okay. So, Doombot comes in and ends up picking up the one on the. All right. Florges. That's one enjoyable Quagsire. Great fairy type. Good bulk.
One of the better Witch Passers for sure, and a very good special wall. Wait,
Yeah.
could we say that Quagsire is a Quagsicist? Quagsicist? Okay.
Yeah. Wow.
Because he's getting hit by grass moves. He's just taking them. Those are some powerful blind whips. Anyways, let's move on.
Moving on. It looks like
Speaking of Wish Passers, hey, it's the other best Wish Passer. Probably the second best, right next to Screamtail. This thing is fat, lives forever, passes wishes to everything. Its offensive presence is very low. Also, I don't think it has toxic anymore, right?
I don't think it does. No.
Pain. That's a problem if it doesn't get it, but you know what? It's still a very fat mon that can just be fat.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. And moving into this next pick here, Fire Festival scoops up Iron Moth. Iron Moth lasted 7 rounds in the draft.
And somehow he found a furry picture of Iron Moth. Congrats to Fire. Insane. But yeah, I think it lasted 5 picks on Ionopolis. I was actually considering drafting this for Iono's team. We were thinking about it, and we ended up going with Slitherwing at the last second instead. And I think, honestly, we picked the better option for her team. Moth is great, but it's T1 because it gets agility and it's just very strong. Its stats are crazy. We thought it would basically be like Volcarona without Quiver Dance, but still it's so strong that I don't think it actually matters and would probably just kill everything.
Yeah, well,
it's covered with too,
right? Yeah.
It gets Fire Dance, Discharge, Sludge Wave, like Psychic, like 50,000 moves. It gets Bug Buzz and Hurricane still. This thing, no, it's actually so broken. It's like so good. The only reason it wasn't a T0 is because it doesn't have Quiver Dance, only has Agility.
Oh.
It was very close.
So,
Toxapex, my beloved.
all right. Soften drafts Toxapex. Great defensive pickup for a lot of his teammates that have fighting weakness. Yeah. Hazards, regen.
Toxapex lost a lot this gen. It lost Scald, it lost Knockoff, and it lost half its recovered PP. And those are huge, terrible nerfs for it. But It still has haze, and it still has a lot of different tools. The thing about Toxapex is that even though it's been nerfed to shit and it has to run like chilling water or other crap like that, it's that if you can remove the things that are able to kill it, you can just literally win matches with it because your opposition will just run out of ways to kill it, and then you'll eventually win. So it's still strong for that matter, especially in a draft league format.
Yeah, no, I can see that. Moving into this next pick here, Xander drafts Surskit, and I don't get it.
Webs. Literally the only thing I can think of. It's webs. It's for webs.
Well, I guess baby webs, yeah. Tier 5 pretty early, but you know, hey, it works out.
Don't we still have Ariados on the table?
I don't think it's in the game.
Is it not? Oh, I might be totally just like blanking on that.
So we come down to the next pick here, and honestly, I'm at a loss because I don't know what to pick up. The draft.
I told you should have waited.
I really should have waited. I didn't know what to grab, honestly. So I just went ahead and picked up the T0, and at the time we ended up drafting Baxcalibur for the Liquid Trevenants, and great Pokemon, impressive attack. The Ice Dragon weakness is really solid coverage, immediate threat or presence. But yeah, at that point I didn't really have much of an idea of what else I needed to add to the team. I think this is where the draft league anxiety started to set.
No, it was already hitting. No, it was hitting since the fucking stupid ass. What was it? Since the fucking Serena, like since that pick, you were literally being like drowned in it, like so losing your mind. Here's the thing, right? So here you should have waited because there was only like 1 or 2 people who could even pick T0s at this point, so you should just like waited anyways. But it's probably okay. Here's the thing. You also could have just picked up Aquatoros here still.
Noted. Noted.
Just saying.
Yeah. So, we end up seeing Reggie Ultima here jump in from the other conference and
for Casey.
Picks for Casey, who picks up Kamala and Dondozo.
What is this art of Rika with Kamala? Who drew this and why?
I don't know, but
I like it. It's adorable, but like I'm very confused. Is she like babysitting for Larry?
Maybe.
Maybe.
But with these pickups, though, Kamala is a fantastic wish passer. It can rapid spin. It's also...
Oh no, it's a way better rapid spinner because it comatose means it's always asleep, meaning that you can come in on toxic spikes and never get toxic.
Yeah. And
then just spin them away. It's actually very nice.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And also impressive special bulk.
Yeah.
And Dondozo, it's singles, but it's still a powerhouse. It's got its utility, even without Tatsugiri.
The thing about Dondozo that makes it so scary is that you can actually run a lot of different sets on it, despite it looking like the same unaware blob. It actually can run the unaware blob rest set, or you can run assault vest stuff. You can run offensive sets. It's actually very dangerous. It's a very good one for draft league, and it's still Dondozo at the end of the day.
Yeah. So, this next pick around, where of course I didn't draft Aquatoros. I realized I needed an electric type, and I found myself in my draft league anxiety spiral bin, where I was trying to debate between 2 or 3 electric types, Bellibolt and Electros. And I think at the time I felt that I had enough reliable recovery support from the team.
You can never have enough reliable recovery support.
It's
literally never.
And like after grabbing Baxcalibur, I realized I have a lot of physical offensive Pokemon, and I really needed something that was gonna really round that off for me, with some special attack, and Electros was the one that was able to do that for me. Impressive. I think base 115 attack and base.
Isn't it only 85 special attack? Why didn't you just go with Belly Bolt then? Because Belly Bolt's actually a special attack, right?
No, I think it's also base 105 or.
Either way. I'm 99% sure this beating is base like 85 or 95. Hold on. Electron?
105 special attack. Yep.
Oh, okay, never mind. It's fine. I see you.
Yeah, the Levitate was also a really appealing option here.
It makes for a nice Terra Captain for sure.
Yeah, and as soon as I looked at its move pool, I said, "Oh, this is the Terra Captain that we didn't know we needed." So
yeah, so it got buffed a lot moveset wise over the years. It has like player off. It has so many moves it can run. So it's in pretty Terra Captain. You can have so many options on what to run it with.
Yeah. So immediately after that, Xander comes in and picks up the Tauros of the water.
Aqua Tauros, and I was like, bro.
Yeah.
I told you, my dude. I told you.
Yeah.
But no one listens to Venty.
No. Well, and at this point, there's a trend going on here. Xander's drafted 3 fighting types on his team. He's gonna really need. Oh, actually, correction. 4 fighting types on his team with Breloom. So flying types kind of go burr on the squad.
Right.
Yeah, so Safed comes back around and drafts Rotom-Mo? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Fantastic pickup. Leaf Storm coverage, Volt switching potential, Terra Captain coverage.
It's very good. Rotom-Mo is insane.
Yeah.
It's one of the best Terra Captains, I think, too, because it's just very strong.
Yeah. So Fire picks, I guess,
Espeon. It's Espeon.
Espeon.
Magic Bounce user, good stats, Calm Mind, just a lot of goodness to it. Still has Wish. It gets Shadow Ball. I think it got some extra coverage moves. I don't remember what they are, though, but it's very solid.
So, but then it looks like it turns out that they overspent their points and ended up having to come back around and draft Gothitelle. Great.
Oh, I forgot about that. You're right.
Yeah, great T5 pick.
Yeah, Gothitelle is very strong. It has a lot of really good coverage options. I got Lauren T5 because we're not allowing Shadow Tag because it's fucking broken as hell. It was originally T4 and then eventually moved down to T5. It's probably one of the best picks in T5, honestly. It's very solid. It's a very good, it's a slow psychic type, but you can run it bulky, and it's a pretty good bulky offensive psychic type.
Yeah. Well, next picks that come up here, it looks like Bloomer picks up Salt Bro Jr., also known as Knucklestack. Great tier 4 pickup, I believe.
It's a T4 pickup. This is one of the best T4 ones in my opinion. If you Terra Captain, which I think Bloomer did, pretty sure he did. Yeah, Terra Captain, this thing makes it very strong. The thing about Garganacl, which is a problem with it, is that it can't Terra, and that's one of a huge blow to it, unironically, because then there's so many more ways of dealing with it. The thing about Knucklestack is that with Eviolite, this thing is very impressively bulky, and you can also Terra it because it's a T4 mod. And it still has Salt Cure, and it still has Purifying Salt as its ability, so it's very strong. If you knock it off, it's completely doomed, but if you don't, then it can be kind of a problem.
Yeah, no, you can definitely see that. Doombot comes in here and picks up Bread Loaf Dash Bun. Great fairy type, good ability. Another Wish Passer, but it does a lot of what Floor just does, but Floor just does it better.
It's a fire meaning on his team, and he badly needed one considering almost all of his mons are weak to it or don't resist it. The only resist he has is Rhythm Wash because it kills Wochin, kills the steals. Okay, I can see his fire Tauros to help with that, but he's still very weak to fire at this point in time.
Yeah. So yeah, no, Swiggus comes in and picks up Veluza for Victor. Yeah. Another offensive pickup here. Yeah, no, that's really rounding off the rest of that core to be well, the screens setup core that he has going on with his team here.
Vault and Veluza. So yeah, Veluza is an insane mon to get. It man, if Victor had Orthworm, this would have been a disaster because this thing behind a sub. I mean, we were thinking about getting on for Iono's team, but like, it was kind of just like we weren't able to really fit it in. But like, it's very strong if you can get behind a sub. It's like, or just get it behind screens. If you get to turn this up, this thing can go ham with sharpness and awkward cutter. You can run weird focus energy sets for guaranteed crits with scope blend. It's wild. Like, this thing has like a lot of really crazy attacks it can do.
Yeah, no kidding. So it looks like Iono's back up again. And,
yes.
It looks like they've decided to draft Vaporeon.
Yeah, Vaporeon is kind of crazy. It's basically Baby Suicune. You got Calm Mind. You run Rest with it. It's just very strong. You can sit around and live forever. You can blank water types with it. You can raid with Hydration and Rain for infinite healing. But it also just has decent coverage with like Ice Beam, Ghost coverage. It's just very good. It's a very good mon that is able to just really like set up a draft league and chill.
Yeah, yeah. Great water type. Great water type. IRONMAN comes in and does his wheel pick again here. Drafts Cryogonal and also drafts Lycanroc midday here. Great offensive rock type with an impressive move pool, and then also Cryogonal as a solid special wall, levitate user, and can also spin.
Yeah, Cryogonal is a premier spinner in T4. I kind of wish I had gotten it for my team instead of the one I picked, which was Brambleghast. The reason is because it having a flying immunity, levitate, like giving it grand immunity, so it can easily switch on stuff. It has a lot of crazy, really good tech mons that are awesome, or tech moves that are awesome. It has recover. It's just a very good Pokemon. It gets freeze dry to kill water type. It's very good. Lycanroc, actually insane mon. Very, very good Terror Captain. It's just, yeah, it does a ton of damage. It's super fast, and if you run it in sand, that thing is a menace.
Oh, yeah. So, it looks like Iono...
Speaking of Brambleghast.
Iono comes up again. I'm seeing some inspiration here from the Pirate Squad in the other conference.
Yes, my pirate crew. Yeah, so I also I realized that Iono very much needs a spinner. And I was like, wait, Brambleghast sitting right there, no one's gonna pick it. This is a great time to grab it. And maybe we could have left it on the table for longer, but we got everything we wanted after this point anyway, so it didn't matter. So I picked it up to give us a grass type, which we were kind of in need of. And it also has a lot of nice tech. The other good thing about it is that it also gives Iono some extra hidden benefits that I won't talk about here, but it works very well that this mon is on your team.
Well, I guess we'll leave it at that.
Yes.
So in that case, it looks like Victor's up again, and Casey is back to drop down a pick in the chat, and good old Larry is here to drop the Dunsparce on the league. Pretty solid, bulky normal type. I'm not really sure how the Dunsparce fits into all of this, but I imagine it has some secret heat that we will be quite intrigued to see.
So they also Terra Captain this. This Mon is very... I still have... This Mon, every time I see someone use it, has another crazy, weird tech strat that I never even began to think about before. It has a lot of tools to do a lot of things, and I don't understand it at all. This Mon is an enigma, and there's a lot to it. It also gets Coil, so, and Serene Grace still, so it can cause horrible problems for everyone.
So Doombot comes in here for the next pick and drafts Ursaring. Pretty solid pick. It turns out that Eviolite activates in Scarlet and Violet.
Yes.
So it gets the bonus points for being a mid-tier evolution now. Yeah.
Yeah. Talk about one of the best, we've seen a lot of the best T4s get picked here. T4, like I said, at first we thought T4 was mad garbage, but no, T4 actually has so many good mons in it, it's crazy. Ursaring is one of the best ones in T4, I think, because with Eviolite, this thing never dies to anything. I think it's better if you run it as a Terra Captain. If you run this thing with like Terra Fairy, oh my god, and just play her off. There are some crazy fucking sets you can run with this thing. But Ursaring was already very bulky, so giving it Eviolite just lets it meme on so many things. It's crazy.
Yeah. And then coming up next here, OP Bloomer drafts Grafai.
Did this man keep Grafai? Is the real... Yes, he has not needed it yet. Oh no, dude. This mod I think is absolute trash. I'm not gonna... no offense, Bloomer. This mod just... I think it gets Poison Touch. I think it has Prankster, but it's terrible. Its move before it is bad. I don't know, man. I think this mod is terrible. It should be T5.
I don't know.
Did we put this thing in T4 or T3? Please tell me it's not in T3.
It's in tier 3.
Why did we put it in T3?
I don't know.
Why? This thing should be T5. It's so bad. Anyways, I'm sorry, Bloomer. I'm sorry. You got fucking Grafai pilled. I'm sorry.
So Fire Festival comes around, and it looks like they ran out of loot. So
there was no loot of cloth. Not yet.
Yeah.
The Rule 34 had to end somewhere, and it ended at cloth. Speaking of cloth, I think Fire grabbed it for more hilarious. I think it's one of his oldest Stealth Rock users, potentially his only one. And
so too.
That's very interesting. Here's the thing, right? My poor lad, Fire, the festival. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like more Fire's brand of cheese. With Anger Shell for to use as a free shell smash, that kind of stuff. I imagine that was his reasoning for wanting to grab the mon, and it's very on brand for him, so it makes sense.
Yeah, cheap rocks, and I don't know. We'll see how that one plays out. But
yes, we shall.
But
what is this?
What did Soften?
What is this GIF?
I don't know. Oh, he drafted. It looks like he drafted.
Is it just Salamence, or what's it doing?
It's Salamence.
Why is it like bongoing on rocks? What's going on?
Begging for its life. I don't know.
It's begging. This is GIF. Salamence. Yes. I'm surprised. I forget Salamence is even in this draft. I'm not gonna lie. A very good Dragonite sweeper. Is it outclassed by Dragonite? Probably. Is it outclassed by Excalibur? Probably. However, it gets Intimidate, it gets Moxie, you have a bunch of options to run it, you run special sets, so it's still a solid mon. It's just, in this day and age, it's less so, but in a draft league, it can be very scary still.
Yeah. It looks like, I don't know what happened here. But
you went to dinner for 40 hours.
Oh, I see. Xander needed to pick a new pick for some reason, and didn't have enough points. He wanted to draft Frostlass, and decided to go with the T0 and drafted Garganacl. Finally, some flying resistances to, I guess, handle whatever this squad is that he has going on.
Yeah, it's a very good flying resistance because he is quite weak to flying for most of his team. It's also just Garganacl, so just Garganacl things and ruins water types, ruins steel types. I can see it. Also, from what was left at that point in T0, it was probably one of those better options for sure.
Yeah. So, I come around and, you know, I had been thinking about my things, and I took a little inspiration from the opposing conference and decided to draft Sableye. And honestly, I feel like Sableye was the support glue that I needed with Screamtail to really piece everything together. So
you finally did it. You made your first good pick in 3 picks.
I know.
All right, I'll say optimal. The first optimal pick, because this is correct. Like this thing, it screens, it gets weather moves with Prankster. It gets Will-O-Wisp, huge, probably its biggest boon. It gets knockoff still. It kept it, and if somehow this thing does actual damage to knockoff, it is disgusting. Yeah, it's very good. It's a very good Pokemon. There's so many moves you can run with it. It's so awesome. It also gets priority recover, priority substitute. There's a lot of horrible things you can run with it to make it as annoying as possible. Its typing is great.
I'm really
absolutely fantastic, Mark. I pled with you for my life to get you to draft this thing. So. I was literally like, bro, grab it right now or you were a fool. Like, this thing is crazy good and it will not survive for the next round if you do not grab it this second.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty happy with the choice. I'm not gonna lie. So Casey comes in and drops.
Yes, you fool.
The Belly Bolt. And the Flareon. I can tell you that Belly Bolt is quite the monstrosity.
Well, I can tell you it's a fucking monstrosity. This thing's a disaster of a Pokemon for me. And this thing is like unstoppably bad. Like, I have no idea. Like, this thing can absolutely snowball and destroy everything. It gets Slack Off, it gets... Fun fact! It gets actual water moves! It has Muddy Water! Don't forget! It gets Muddy Water!
What?
It also has other crazy combos you can pull off with it. It's a very good Pokemon. It is incredibly good. I hate how good this thing is. I hate how fat this thing is, and it's going to ruin my life this entire draft league.
Oh, yeah.
So, moving onward.
Flareon, pretty solid fire pickup.
Yeah, it has Flare Blitz now.
Yeah. Oh, we got Flare Blitz finally.
It's been had Flare Blitz for like a couple generations now, but yeah, it is. I know, right? People, no one checked to see, because everyone gave up on Flareon long ago. It has some other moves. I think allegedly, it has Will-O-Wisp at least. I know. So, and Yawn. It's a Flareon. It's not a bad pick. It's not. Also, it gives him a fire immunity, which I think he very much wanted for his team, just to have for support Amoonguss, Meowscarada, and the rest of his squad, because he has a couple water types, but I think he'd rather just have an immunity.
Yeah, no, I could see that. Coming around again here, I looked at the rest of this draft and it just was not looking
I hate
great.
You. I hate you, dude.
I drafted Phalanx.
This is a great gift. This is absolutely normal.
Yeah, you know, B and little hugs. I don't know. It was a decent fighting type. It was the scraps remaining from tier 5. And, you know, I had debated beforehand grabbing Murkrow or the Sableye, realizing that Sableye was the optimal pick. So, needed this little guy on my team. Don't really have much to say. It's pretty one-dimensional with what it gets. So, and we're kind of moving into the end of the draft here too.
We're almost done. This is the last few picks.
Yeah. So Xander.
We've been going for a very long time. I don't know if you've noticed this.
I did. Xander comes in and grabs Charcadet.
I still, to this day, have no idea. I don't get it. I don't know. There's so many T4s and T5s you can grab that are actually really good, including an unfathomable demon. But I won't talk about that here.
But yeah, no. Yeah, it was just a throw. In my opinion.
Kind of a throw. Maybe you just didn't know what to pick and just grab.
No.
Maybe for Destiny Bond? Question mark. That's the only thing I can see with it.
Yeah. Soffit comes in and grabs Cricketune, budget boy for the webs, I suppose.
Spider-Man's a bitch ass motherfucker. He still trapped my fucking wife.
Yeah. So it looks like the Spidops was a snipe, I guess.
So I'm making a call out post on my Smokin' forum. Spidops, you've got no usage. Oh my god, God tier. I did not read this message. That is incredible. That might be the best. That might be the best pickup message of all time.
Fire Festival comes in afterwards and grabs Muck. Great grounded poison type.
One of the best T4 Terror captains in my opinion. It gets so much coverage. It's so strong. It is so freaking strong if you ban this thing, or if you just, or you can run curse sets. It's very on brand for fire. It's one of Rex's favorite picks, and they're stupidly good friends, so it makes sense. They're basically cousins at this point.
Oh my gosh. Bloomer comes in and grabs the Squawkabilly. Another one of the mons that gets 4 forms in the draft currently.
It is that or Choreo and Oinkalon that do not have their forms split, unlike Rotom and some other mons where you can only draft one of the forms. It's to balance out the fact that they're normally terrible Pokemon, and to give them more spice to them.
Emphasis on the mostly.
Also, Squawkabilly though, actually crazy good mon. Not even gonna lie, actually a really solid pickup from T4. It looks like absolute ass garbage until you realize that it has the potential for incredible meme damage with Hustle. If you don't miss. If you are not feeling lucky, do not run this Pokemon because you will miss everything and die instantly. If it takes any damage, it will explode.
Oof. So, this next pickup here, Doombot goes with the Pikachu. I mean, it's T5 scraps at this point, and this is what was available. Light Ball set? I don't know.
You could run Light Ball, but he also made it one of his Terror Captains.
I still don't get it.
I don't get it. He had Ursaring right there, who is insane.
Yeah.
I don't know, fam. Maybe he really likes Pikachu. I don't know.
Party.
Maybe he has a plan. Maybe there are some crazy calculus Light Ball. I have no idea. But
yeah. So it looks like Casey drafts as Wireless for Victor. Pretty good Dragon type. It'll be interesting to see how it handles.
Do you want to know the actual answer for this?
Amuse me.
So here it is. So Wireless's ability is Hustle. Again, which it gives you a huge attack boost, but all of your moves are 80% accurate at best. You lose 20% accuracy on all your moves. So the thing about it is that Zweilous. Zweilous' Outrage is stronger than Mega Rayquaza's.
Oh wow!
Because of Hustle, and if you set up Dragon, I believe this thing gets Dragon Dance. No, or am I insane?
Pretty sure it does.
Yeah, if you set up Dragon Dances behind screens, you can actually just kill everything with this thing. It's actually like very low key, very strong.
Oh wow!
You have to actually hit stuff with it. No, but it can be strong if you get it set up.
Yeah. So Ayano comes in and drafts the Houndoom in the next.
Love
pickup.
this GIF. Goated GIF right here. It's so cute. This is a last second pick. I was discussing with Ayano what they wanted to grab for this slot, and I was like, we need a fire immunity right now. And I think we were thinking about drafting this earlier, but we decided to let it sit because we knew no one would ever pick Houndoom. We could have also picked up Dashbun, but we figured that Houndoom is actually way better. The thing about Houndoom is that it is a fire immunity. It's actually, we ended up Terra Captain this as well. It's basically Baby Chiyu because it has almost the same base speed. It's 95 speed instead of 100. It's a very good special attack stat, and it actually has quite a lot of utility to it that you can run alongside of it. It gets a lot of really good moves. You also get Destiny Bond counter with focus assets. It's very strong. It's a very strong Pokemon. Its Dark Pulse hit like very hard. Its Overheats and Fire Blast and Flamethrowers hit like trucks. Very good stab combination. It's just a very solid mon. I actually saw people bringing it to fucking regionals in Orlando because it basically acts as a baby Chiyu before Chiyu comes out, and it's very strong at it's flanking a lot of stuff like Armor Rouge, and Cerulean Edge, and other Fire Ghosts. And it's also a great Skeletor's counter because you can just roar it out to get rid of its boost, and it can never kill you because it's like, what are you gonna hit it with, Shadow Ball?
Oh wow! Look, the more you know. The more you know. Wow.
Yeah, it's very strong.
Iron Man comes in with their last 2 picks here of the draft, picking up Wigglytuff and Raboot. I think Wigglytuff is pretty decent. It sets rocks. It has a bit of bulk, and can wish, I guess. And the Raboot is a pretty nice budget pick too, with insane speed and that access to Protean to give yourself a little bit more variety in your coverages and matchups.
Yeah, it's an interesting pick. You do lose out. You don't have Fire or Pyro Ball, and you are missing. I don't think you get High Jump Kick yet. I'm not entirely sure about that one, but like you are missing a bunch of moves that Cinderace usually gets. But it's not bad, honestly. It has a very usable attack stat still, and it is Protean, so it's able to chill. I also think it still gets Swords Dance like Cinderace, so.
Yeah. So coming around again here, Iono picks up Luminion.
Yes.
Tell us
Luminion's the final pick. So Luminion is very weird. This Pokemon is another one of Iono's favorites. It's very interesting. It actually isn't totally worthless. It gets a few moves that are actually useful. I believe it's still kept U-turn. And it gets Storm Drain, so it works as a nice water immunity. She actually has 3 water immunities. She has Lumion, she has Quagsire, and she has Vaporeon.
Oh.
I'm going to be fighting Iono at some point during this draft week. I believe it's week 8. And this and the rest of them are going to be murdering me because I have a rain team, and not being able to do with water brew is going to be pain, to say the least. This thing, it works as a good. I think this thing also gets Tailwind. I don't remember, but like it gets other moves to help facilitate the team as a support mon if you're up against water heavy teams. So it's actually a decently solid pickup. I always forget this thing has Storm Drain, honestly.
Oh wow. Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm just taking a look at it now. Yeah, no, good coverage.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, so Victor comes around for their last draft pick, and it looks like Casey drops the bomb with the Rotom fan here.
Yeah,
pick.
I think Rotom Fan is one of the best T5s easily. I think people are hard sleeping on it. This mon is a meme, but at the same time, it still has very good stats. It's very good typing. If only it had better flying move than Air Slash. It's still fine, but like, here's the thing. This last mon works on Victor's team. It still fits the theme. It has Nasty Plot. So if you get this thing by itself, you can Nasty Pull up and start discharging your, Thunderbolting stuff to death. You can Air Slash it with Grass types. So it gets past one of the main counters to Electric types. So I had something neutral hit like regular grounds with. So it's still a very solid mon. And you have Will-O-Wisp. You still have all the regular Rotom coverage.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Next draft pick here, it looks like Doombot picks up Tropius. I don't know. It's a flying type. I'm not.
You can run it in Sun, but if you're not running in Sun, it is very bad.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I think it's Strength Sap now. There's some Degens that you can run with it, but it works way better in Sun.
Yeah. So Bloomer comes in with this next pick.
It's like, well, if you really want to throw away one of your transactions, sure. I have no idea why you picked this. It's so bad. You can use so many other mons you could pick. Like this is even more baffling to me than Charcadet.
I mean, Vespiquen was literally right there. At least,
Vespiquen is also T5, and Vespiquen actually is a good Pokemon. I'm not even joking. Vespiquen's a fine T5 mon. Why did he pick this and not Fire? What are you doing? Get us off this. I hate you, Fire.
So, Soften comes in and picks up
Drifblim.
Oh, Drifblim.
Yes.
Oh.
Fire chose Misdreavus.
That's...
Safin chose Drifblim, and that's also in his Terra Captains. Not sure why. There's probably some crazy tech I'm missing here. It gets Strength Sap. It has a lot of really crazy moves. So I can kind of see why. I'm just confused as to what they're cooking with it to make them want to Terra Captain it.
Yeah.
Specifically.
Yeah. I get the Misdreavus, the Drifloon, Great Bulk. That's all I can say. Xander comes in afterwards, and after seeing, I guess, the Drifloon go, drafts Drifloon.
I have no idea. Unless again he's going for it gets Destiny Bond.
Yeah.
He's going for like a bunch of Destiny Bond. I don't get it. I'm trying to figure it out. I think maybe he was just like done with drafting and decided just to grab random shit just to end it. Because he didn't know what else to draft. I don't know.
Yeah, because like there's so many pieces that they could have picked up to optimize their team.
Or just grabbing any of these mons, they're just sitting there and they're objectively better. I mean, like, you could have grabbed. There's so many ghost types in T5 that you could have grabbed. I don't know, fam. There's a lot that could have been done here. I don't know why Drifloon, because like, I don't know.
Well, speaking of ghost types, and keeping up with the trend, I came in for my last pick here. And grab the Haunter for its speed and its immediate special offensive presence. Not really doing much other than coming in and clicking a button. And the draft comes to its end here with Casey drafting Baby Hat, the lovely little Hatchrim.
Do they still have Hatchrim?
In your division?
They do still have Hatchrim.
Probably.
TC does still have Hatchrim.
Yeah.
It's Magic Bounce, I suppose. You can remember EVO. I don't know what moves it's missing from Hatterene, but probably okay.
Yeah. So, and with that very painstakingly draft recap, we have come to the end.
It was not painstaking. It was fun, even if it was very long.
Well, we've gotten to the end of LarryTown's draft, and what I can tell you is there's some pretty formidable teams that are picked up, and I look forward to seeing how the rest of the season unfolds. Do you have any teams that might be sticking out to you right now?
I guess if you were to show the visual draft sheet, there's been a lot of transactions as well that have happened.
Yes, and actually, speaking of transactions, we did give the coaches 2 free transactions and a week to figure out their Terra Captains, just with the way that the draft had rolled. So I ended up going with the Ceruledge. I dropped the Float Soul for Slowbro. And actually, I think I could probably pull up the
you should.
Here. Let me take a look.
What else did you use what did you use your other transaction for? Because I don't remember.
So I used 3 transactions here. Let me grab this.
I had to use both my transactions for trading purposes. I actually pulled off the first trade I think it's happened in like at least 3 seasons now, which is crazy. And I pulled off 2 back to back, but it was just like, yeah, I think these early transactions, these early bird transactions, are super important. I have always used both of them in every single season I've been in, and I think most people should, because there's so many mons that you think are good at first, and then when you like start to like spar and see how it works, you're like, damn, this is actually terrible with this team. So taking the time to test it out is very crucial, I think, because then you can really see how things work and see if you really want to commit to these mons, or you want to use one of your early transactions to eat them out for free.
Yeah, and so while this is doing its magic here of populating the entire conference drafts from that side, I did manage to make a couple transactions myself. I managed to barter with Xander to remove Slowbro and pick up the Aqua Tauros after much consideration.
Well, you didn't. Oh yeah, because you said you traded Floatzel for Slowbro.
Yeah. So I used a free pick. Yeah, and then we ended up going ahead and dropping the Baxcalibur for Roaring Moon, and we dropped the Phalanx for a Bruxish. Definitely gives a different offensive presence here to the team. I'm really excited to using it. We'll probably have to get into it at another time here, and I'll recap my Week 1 matchup against IRONMAN. Pretty scary matchup.
Could you zoom out on this page a little bit so you can see the full teams?
Sure can do. Let's see here. So,
Other way.
Other way?
Zoom out, not in.
Yeah. There we go.
Now we can see it all, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, no, this is pretty much the entire draft for the season, and season goes for about 12 weeks. Top 8 coaches from both conferences. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Will be advancing to playoffs, and so we've got quite the season ahead of us. It's pretty exciting. We'll be able to play here and see how the season goes until we get DLC release with new mods. Is it too late to squeeze in Walking Wake and Iron Leaves?
It's only too late if I can't immediately grab them.
Fair enough.
Because it is if I'm just saying on my rain team, you can see me in the bottom right. If I had, oh no, you can't. It's cut off.
You're cut off
by 1 mon. Yeah, zoom out more. What are you doing? Control mouse scroll wheel down. You are physically zoomed in on your browser.
Oh yeah, I guess I am. Here, let me try this.
Can you just literally use the zoom out combo? Just hold down Control and then scroll your mouse wheel down.
Oh, here, I'll do that. Bam. There we go.
Well, you can see my rain team now on the bottom right. Yeah, if I had Walking Wake, then nothing could ever stop me. I would destroy Biggest's Sun team and everybody else's teams. I would actually be unironically unstoppable because it also gets Hurricane, so. And it's a Water Dragon.
I'm
yeah,
pretty sure
I want to let it in so badly, but I also would probably not get it anyways.
I'm pretty sure it's being suspect tested right now too.
You know what? It's fine. It's probably balanced.
So
just
yeah,
like Giga Flash.
No, this pretty much covers the draft recap for season 4. Thanks for sticking out with us. Do you have any last minute plugins here, Venty?
That's a great question. I don't know. If you want to see my draft league matches this season, you can find me at Venty, Venty on YouTube. You might want to search Venty, PokemonRibbons or Ribbons Draft League, and then you'll find me for sure. Or Venty RML season 4 or something. You'll find me. But yeah, no. Yeah, this draft league is gonna be really fun. I'm glad my team turned out the way it did. I'm glad that both Ayano and Professor Rex's team, who I also drafted, got super goated teams that are amazing. So yeah. My hope is that all of us have fun and that everything's cool. And yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah. I will be uploading this to my channel here as well with my week 1 matchup. So stay tuned for that. You can find me at Ionix Gaming Channel. And with
yeah, I guess you can also put me in the description too. So you can probably just find the link to my channel in the description as well.
I will do that as well. So yeah.
I thought, I was like, well, yeah, we're uploading this, duh.
But yeah, so yeah, no, thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys next time in the next video, okay?
Indeed, my dudes, this is gonna be fun. Watch out for week 12, where we'll be fighting each other to the death in a knife fight.
Oh yeah, that's right. Week 12. Week 12. I look forward to it.
Full voice call, as God intended.
Yeah, no, that BDSP was fun too.
Yeah,
I like
all
the
of
commentary
our
matches.
every time we get in the voice call, it's always a fun time. So yeah, it'll be good.
All right, well, with that, we'll see you next time.
Yep.
See ya.
Bye.